Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Trap Chat. I am your host, Kirsten Greggs, and let me tell you something. I am very excited for our guest today. As you know, October is one of my celebration months, so our theme is Harvest of Joy, celebrating personal and professional achievements and milestones. And I wanted to have someone from a much different industry than I normally do be present on the show today. So that's why I have invited the ever stylish, the innovative Kristi Riggs, who is the founder and creative director of Kristi Love Creative LLC. Kristi's an HBCU grad. She did go to Howard University. She is also a lifestyle curator. She has over 25 years of experience in fashion and event production. She's worked with some major brands that we are going to talk about during our conversation. And most recently was a part of Afro Games in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm very excited to have Kristi here. I met her about 5-6 years ago at a salon dinner that Karen Alston put on. And then I happened to see her at all the fabulous events that I get the pleasure of being invited to. I'm just happy to have you here with me today. Hey, Kristi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you this morning?
I am good. So I'm going to give you a chance to celebrate yourself and talk about all of the wonderful achievements that you've had. So let's start at the beginning. Please share your career journey to founder and creative director of Kristi Love Creative LLC.
Okay, I'm trying to find my good angle here. Hold on. Here. My career journey. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna make this real short because nobody likes a long story. So my name is Kristi Riggs, as you said, but I'm also known as Kristi Love.
Yes.
I was given that name at birth by my cousin Michael, who was a real groovy guy back in the 70s. And there was a show called Get Kristi Love that was popular on TV at that time, featuring the beautiful Teresa Graves, RIP. And so when he came to the hospital when I was born, or came to the house, and he asked, what's the baby's name? And they said, Kristi. He said, oh, that's Kristi Love, baby. That's Kristi Love. So that has been my family moniker and nickname ever since. And so socially, I think, I never used it publicly. That was always something that was in the family. But when I decided to, I was on the scene as an it girl and then designing that, and I was like, what do I name my company? And so I chose to use that, Kristi Love. At first it was from Kristi with Love. And I said, no, let's just shorten it. Kristi Love. That's my name anyway. So I started this journey. Even though I've technically been in business for 25 years, my journey started way before that. I actually come from a fashion family. My mother is an amazing and well-known stylist here in DC, Miss Riggs. And she opened a fashion business when I was 12, and really inspired by our shared obsession and love for fashion and style. I have two older sisters who are beautiful and stylish, but I was the one kid that really came here obsessed with all things fashion, style, visual art related. And I was a gifted visual artist. And so, I'm considerably younger than my siblings. So I was always connected to my mama's hip. And that was always our thing, reading the fashion magazines together. That's before we could just look at things on the computer. We would actually get the hard copy and be up in her bed, and she would be educating me about designers and then, telling me why each designer was special and what was this one known for. So my mom was really my first teacher, like most moms, but specifically when it comes to fashion and style, she really did engage me in that area of something that I really had a deep appreciation and love for. And so she opened the business. I started working with her. So I'm what's known as a rag business baby, and that's a child that has grown up in the apparel business. So going up to New York, to the garment district, to the shows, to select inventory. I was a buyer as a teenager. Learning how to um, create orders and negotiate quantity and things with showrooms. That's all things that I've learned with my mother at a very early age. So I started designing professionally. And when I say professionally, I mean um, designing and actually having my work sold in the business at 13. And also, I used to sell hand painted pieces to my friends in high school. So I never really had the typical teenage part-time job like McDonald's or things like that. I really started, I've always made money from my work. Um, so I would make hand painted shorts and sell them to my teammates on my field hockey team. And hand painted t-shirts. And so I started doing that at 13. I started styling professionally at 15. And that was as a result of my sister, who was a popular hairstylist at the time. And she was signed with the THE agency here in DC. And they would need stylists, fashion stylists, to style the photo shoots with the models. And so she said, well, I don't know what you guys think about this, but my kid's sister, who's 15, is the best stylist I know. And so they were like, sure. And so here I was, so I started styling. And then I got an internship with Spike Lee when I was 18 or 19 years old, under the highly acclaimed, twice Oscar winning Ruth Carter. I was her personal intern. And so I've been doing this for a very long time. And although I didn't study fashion at Howard, I was in a pre-law political science program. I pretty much knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so after school, I just, kind of got to it. I mean, I never stopped doing it, but I really kind of got to it in a more focused way after school.
Wow.
I was working at a law firm, Morgan, Lewis and Bacchius, and I'd taken my LSAT and I did very well. So my parents were very, excited to have the first lawyer, the first attorney in the family. And then I came home one day from work after seeing this associate that I was directly under, Heather. She was losing her hair from the stress of the workload. And I was a very vain 20 something. And I said, oh no, if I'm going to lose my hair, it's going to be doing something I really love. And so I came home and I told my mom and dad that I no longer wanted to go to law school. I wanted to start my own collection. And so
Yeah.
that's how that happened. And I've been at it ever since.
I love it. I love it.
And so,
Wow.
yep. And so I started off, my only aspiration was to be a fashion designer and a stylist.
Mm-hmm.
But, as the universe has it, you may make these plans, but you never really know what the plan is. That's up to God. So he said, more, Kristi, more. And
Come
so,
on.
yeah. And so my career has naturally expanded from fashion design to many other genres of design. And so
Yeah.
I am currently known as a multi-hyphenated designer. So I started in fashion design, but that expanded to event design
Mm-hmm.
because I had to create cool events to promote my collection. And people
Yeah.
started knowing me as much for my events and parties as they did my clothing. I was also like DC's kind of Paris Hilton at the time. And so I used my social cachet to promote my brand. And so that's how I got into the event design and production space. And then
Okay.
after I was doing that and creating all these cool events, then I had people approaching me to bring my flavor to brands and to product launches and campaigns. And so that's how I got into the experiential space. So I'm an
Okay.
experiential designer. So basically now in the age of social media and where everything is about the hashtag and they want to create something that will inspire people to photograph it and then attach the hashtag to give their marketing effort legs. And so I designed the visual collateral for large brands for campaign launches and
Okay.
for different events. So that's how I got into the experiential space. So then I kind of learned, I think I really learned how to build through creating these big pieces. I really got the construction thing under my belt and kind of, learning how to take it from ideation to design to physical piece. And I think the pivotal point with which led me to interior design was when I got the call to be Pharrell's designer for
Yeah.
for his VIP experience for Something in the Water.
Yeah.
And I was given a raw space, completely raw space, about the size of like a Whole Foods, like, or a grocery store. So a very
Whoa.
huge cement block, basically. No lights, no floors, no walls, no electricity. And they said, "What can you do with this?" And I had
Whoa.
5 days to do it. 5 days.
Sheesh.
And I
Yeah.
said, "Watch this." And I went on. I went
She said I went off. Yes, that's a great segue to my next question, because
Mhm.
I was going to ask you about, your creative direction that has left a mark on such high profile clients like Pharrell Williams, Columbia Sportswear. You've been at the Sundance Film Festival. So
Yep.
how do you stay inspired to consistently deliver these dropping activations for such diverse clients and brands?
Well, and this is what I tell kids when I speak, when I'm on panels or when I go to speak to kids. Um, it's really about what I call your well, what you have to draw from. And my well is overflowing. And that's because growing up, number one, I'm a natural observer. My family, the family joke is that they don't even remember what my voice sounded like as a child because I didn't talk. I was very quiet and I didn't really start blossoming socially and talking until I was about 13 years old. And that's because I was just taking it all in. I was just watching and soaking everything up. I was an avid reader. I was an observer and a consumer of pop culture, and not just the current pop culture that was during my time. I was very curious, and that's, you have to have a natural curiosity. What did people look like in the 1800s or the 1600s or the medieval? Like, I really consumed history. I consumed music. And so from all of those references, that fills up your well. And that's what you have to go to for your inspiration when it's time to create. And so I try to encourage kids, don't just take what corporate America is feeding you through marketing, on social media. Have a natural curiosity and fill your well through literature, through old movies, because that is really what's going to make your creations magical and distinguish you from the rest. And because I can say that for myself, I think what does distinguish me from the rest as a creative, and what keeps my inspirations, accessible, easily accessible for me to tap into, is because my well is just so overflowing with all of those references. I did my homework both in school and outside of school. So I have a whole bunch of stuff up in here, and that's what I have in common with Andre, the late great Andre Leon Talley, because they talked about people that worked with him said he was just a wealth of references. Like, he would look in something and say, "Oh yes, that's very Elizabethan, 18 something something." Like, he could just, and I'm the same way. Like, when I'm in walkthroughs or meetings and people ask me, "Well, what do you see for this?" I said, "I'm getting very Versailles, a lot of gilded gold, antique, not yellow gold." But, and so I start speaking in this language that nobody gets, but I get it. And then I'm able to bring that to life.
I love that. I love that. You are making my job so easy. I don't even have to ask you the questions that I have because you're already answering them. And I love that for me today, because it's early in the morning for me. As you see, I'm still drinking my coffee. But I do want to ask you another question.
Sure.
You talked about, talking to younger folks who are, maybe thinking about doing something either creative or even in another field. What advice would you give to a creative or any professional who's struggling to balance risk taking with staying true to their creative vision?
Risk is part of it. I
Yeah.
mean, every time I release something to the world, I'm always a little, I have a bit of anxiety because it's always a risk, and my creations are like my children. And as all moms, you don't want nobody saying nothing bad about your kids. You know what I mean? Because you love them and you birth them.
Yeah.
Same thing with my ideas and with my
Mm.
creations. And it's always a risk when you put it out there for public consumption. It comes with the territory. You got to take risks to get the reward. So, if you're just sitting on the bench playing it safe, you're never going to have that fist pumping moment of victory. So, I would encourage them to take the risk. I mean, uh, creatively, for sure. I mean, because it's subjective. You can't go wrong. I mean, who's so what? You may not like it, but I love it. And chances are somebody else is, so you got to take the risk. Go ahead. Take it.
So now I want to ask you something. You're giving, always giving to other people, putting your ideas out there, sharing yourself with other people. How do you take time to celebrate yourself, your milestones along the way?
I'll be honest with you. I'm working on that. I'm not very good at
Okay.
it because as soon as I'm really working on that. As a matter of fact, so this is actually my 26th year in business. My 25th year, that's a big deal. That should have been celebrated publicly. And I was actually supposed to have a exhibition um, in the honor of my 25th year in business called Overnight Success. And I, produced it, created it, had there was a gallerist that was, excited about the exhibition. And at the very last minute, I backed out because uh, a little bit of imposter syndrome. I always feel like it's not time yet. It's not time yet. Oh, so what? I did that. So I would encourage people to really, you need to celebrate both the small wins and the big wins.
Yes.
And I am working on that. I'm here to
Okay.
give full transparency.
I love it.
Just because I feel like no matter how much I am lauded or people, sing my praises for whatever I've created, I always feel like, but wait, there's more. Like it's something else I can do, or what's next? Like, okay, fine, that's over. Now what's next? And so I would
Mm.
encourage people, as I am encouraging myself, to celebrate the small wins, the big wins, and yeah, that's
I
that's a
agree with that. I'm right there with you. I'm a small win celebrator. Much more. I was telling someone yesterday that I was very excited because I spelled the word entrepreneurship right the first time. I was like, that's a win. I was like, congratulations, Kirsten. You did a good job today.
yep, yes, thanks for grade.
Yes. Good for
Yes,
me.
yes.
All right. So, one more thing. Can you share a defining moment in your career where you felt you truly harvested the joy of your hard work?
I would say it was that Pharrell project. I really left it all on the floor, and it was, it was a really ideal circumstance because I was given a raw palette. I was given a great budget,
Mm.
and I was doing it for someone that I'm obsessed with. He's he is my boyfriend in my head. Sorry,
Okay.
Kellen. You're gonna have to share him. He is I think my creative twin.
Mm.
So as I really wanted to do and create something that he could be proud of and he would get and love. And so with that inspiration and with that budget, because you gotta have a good budget, I
Mm-hmm.
was able to really do something very magical in that space. and I didn't really eat or sleep for 3 days. All I needed was water and music, and I got it done. I did something really phenomenal, and I knew it was phenomenal, and everyone was in awe. And I got to stand back and watch people enjoy this magical
Mm.
space that I created the first night of the festival. And that was an experience and a feeling that to my dying day on my deathbed, I will never forget.
That is awesome. See how you just celebrated yourself? We're gonna take a pause and clap for that. I love it. I love that. I love that. I love that. Are you excited about the Met Gala? Because isn't he one of the I don't know
Girl.
the right word for that. The creative directors or curators. I don't know what they call it, but he's part of the Met
Oh,
Gala theme this year, right?
it's gonna be fire. I'm so
Okay.
because they're gonna do it the way we can do it. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't other people that are talented and but Black people and specifically African American Black people,
Mm-hmm.
by virtue of our experience, we just really have something that's in uh often imitated but never can be duplicated. It is just otherworldly. We're a very special breed, and I don't
Yeah.
know if we give ourselves credit for that because what we produce is like breathing. It's just what we do, and I don't know if we really give. I mean, really, culture globally now is really is head is what do you call it? We set the standard. We create
Mm-hmm.
culture. It used to be nationally, but we really create culture globally. You go to any little play hamlet on the globe, and there's hip hop. There's every and Black women. Come on now, that's a whole nother podcast. So I am very excited to see what this dream team of creatives and luminaries, what they bring to that Met Gala, the flavor, because
Yeah.
yeah, can't nobody do it like we do it.
I know that's right. I know that's right. All right. Unfortunately for me, because I would love to talk to you forever, we have to move to our rapid fire questions,
Okay.
where we just get, all the personal stuff that's just centered in you, not you telling other people, how to elevate themselves. So, who's a well-known or lesser known historical or contemporary figure who inspires you and we should learn more about?
Zora Neale Hurston.
Okay.
Fearless.
Fearless.
Fearless, brilliant, light, beacon of just creativity. Uh, just an amazing figure. Yes.
Yes. What fictional character gives you a glimpse of yourself? Kristi
Eloise.
Love, besides Kristi Love.
No, so far I've never even seen a full episode of that show. Not even.
Oh, okay. Okay, who did you say? I'm
No, but
sorry.
Eloise,
Eloise.
the little girl, Eloise, she lived in the Plaza. The little girl that lived
I
in the
don't
Plaza
remember
Hotel
that.
in New York. Yeah, it's a series of children's books. Eloise, you got to check it out. And
Okay.
she had a nanny, and she lived in the Plaza Hotel, and just had this fabulous little life.
I love that for her, and I would love that for me. Even at my big age,
I
I want to
think
live in the plaza. I want to have a nanny.
Well, I grew up partially in hotels because my father's job. We moved
Okay.
around a lot, and a lot of times we would have to live in the hotel before our house was ready.
Okay.
And so by the end of our extended stay, the entire staff at the hotel would know me. The doorman, the people in the restaurant. I would go down and have my breakfast and I knew how to sign things to the room at a very early age, and then I would. So yes.
You were Macaulay Culkin before Macaulay Culkin.
Well, I wasn't home alone. My mother was
But you were at the hotel signing things to
I
the room.
getting nervous. Mommy, can we can we
I
get
love
the
that. What's your favorite empowering quote?
um let the hate inspire the hustle.
Oh, okay.
All the people that ever hated on me, that ever gave me a hard time, what they didn't know, what they thought they were doing was actually the opposite. It just fueled the fire that is Kristi Love.
That is Kristi Love. I know. I love it. I love it. If you could spend the day shadowing someone from a different profession from your own, who would it be and what would you hope to learn from them?
Well, I had the fabulous honor of shadowing Ruth Carter and learned a lot from her.
Yeah.
So early on, but today I would say Martha Stewart. I want to know, how does she do it all? How does she? I mean, because that Martha is busy. She's
Yeah.
making her own sauces, raising her own chickens for the eggs that she's gonna put in her own, and she's doing crafts and designing homes beautifully, and
Yeah.
that's very much like my personality. So I want to learn from a seasoned pro. You
Okay.
know,
What's your go-to songs or music genre when you want to hype yourself up for the day?
the song. So I have a playlist called "Wake Up Sunshine." That is a short list of songs that kind of get me going. And the one I listen to that I really love is George Michael, "Everything She Wants."
Okay.
But I'd say a musical genre that really gets me going actually is gospel.
Yeah.
It, but a certain kind, gospel and
Like,
gospel house.
what's gospel? I don't see. I don't even know about gospel house music.
Mm-hmm. My departed friend, my beloved friend Sam Burns,
Okay.
who was a an iconic DJ here in DC
Mm.
and in the worldwide house community. He was kind of like the maestro of it. It's house
Oh,
music, but it often the subject matter of the songs is very inspirational
okay.
and and really applicable to a higher power, no matter who that higher power is to you. So yeah, gets me
I
going.
love it. I gotta check that out because I love gospel
I'll
music as well.
I'll send you a playlist.
Please, which will probably, make my AOL music much more chaotic. I'll go from trap music to praise the Lord, in any to
Yeah.
opera, like Kathleen Battles on my
Oh
playlist.
yeah.
Yes, I love music. Period. But yes,
Me
gospel
too.
music is definitely my go-to. But like you said, where you tend to the house side, I like choir music from like when I was growing up. Like
Hmm.
I'm not Kirk Franklin's great. Like I like Kirk Franklin songs.
I
Actually,
love me some Stomp. Is it
you
Kirk
said
Franklin Stomp? Me and my little niece, we love that song.
I am a Mary Mary fan. My aunt
Oh,
brought me. Yeah, but my parents and my family members used to go to the gospel music workshop every year, and my aunt Toppy brought me back when they first, like, they were passing out their demos at the conference, and
I actually styled
she
them.
brought back Mary Mary's Shackles song, and none of the older people were
Yeah,
into it because, as you know, it was like very contemporary gospel.
right.
But yeah, I've been a Mary Mary fan ever since.
I
Ever
styled
since.
Mary for a Versace shoot for Vibe magazine
Nice.
back in the
Very
early
nice.
2000s.
That is dope.
Yeah.
See? Full circle. Ooh, what's the best piece of career advice you've received that you would give to your early career self?
It is what my mother, I don't know about advice, it was more of a demand.
Okay.
Because I really haven't had any mentors in my life. It's only my parents, my mom and my dad.
Mhm.
And as I said, I was a hot girl on the scene. Still am, but
Yes, very much so.
it was in a different way and different era. And it was not uncommon for me to be out until 3, 4 in the morning every night, because that's back in
Ooh.
DC when there was something for you to do until 3 and 4 in the morning, and I was here for it. And so she said, one morning I was living at home. She's like, you can play all night, but you will get up and handle business. And so so that's why today I am both a night owl and a morning bird. Because,
Ooh.
and my friends will tell you, we can hang out and be drinking or whatever until the wee hours of the morning. But I will be up at 7 a.m. taking care of business. So
Okay. Well, God bless you, because I don't have. I got to go to bed early. If I need to get up early, I have to go to bed early.
no,
Yeah, I can't hang. I can't hang.
I trained myself
Mm-mm.
because my mother. I don't know what it is about her. Is it just her, or is it all moms from that generation? They shame you about sleeping. What is
They
that?
do.
Sleeping, sleeping. But yet this lady takes a nap every day.
I
Like
love that for
we
her.
could not bother my mom from about 4 o'clock to 6, like when she has her
Okay.
nap before she
She's
cooks dinner.
resting.
She, but yet, don't you dare try to sleep in. Oh no, that means you're trying.
Lazy and trifling. Get up.
It is
Yes.
the worst thing to be in the Black community.
Especially on a Saturday morning when it's time to clean up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
If you wrote a book about your career so far, what would the title be?
Surprise!
Okay.
Surprise!
Well,
Yeah.
are you already working on it? Is it written? Do you have the manuscript already?
No, but I think that art exhibit that I put together, that is going to happen. By the way,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna chicken out this time.
Okay.
Overnight success is I think that actually would be the title if I'm going to be serious, because
Okay.
I remember early, as a young designer, I heard an interview with Anna Sui, who
Mm-hmm.
is a great designer, and I think it was for House of Style or something, and they were talking about her being an overnight success, and she's like, "Honey, overnight success where?" Because there is no such thing as an overnight success. When you hear overnight success, that typically means somebody's been doing it at least 15 to 20 years.
Whoa.
And 15 to 20 years to a 21, 22-year-old sounds like a really long time. And so I had a moment with myself like, oh God, you mean I don't get to be famous tomorrow? Like, I'm going to have to do this for 15 to 20 years. I'm going to be 40, right? And
Listen,
it was in
I
that
wish I could be 40 again.
it was in that moment that I really realized how much I was committed to it, because I said, okay, let's do it. And so here I am 25 years later at a place in
Nice.
my career that is really a blessed and fabulous place to
Yes.
be. So yeah, I'm an overnight success. So
You absolutely are.
yes.
Speaking of success, what are you most looking forward to as the year ends, whether it's a personal goal, project or initiative, or professional milestone, exciting opportunity, anything like that?
What am I looking forward to at the end of this year?
I mean, we're, in the middle-ish of October, so we got about 2 more months. What are you most looking forward to?
Professionally. Well, I have some really exciting things, on the burner and
Yeah.
coming down the pike. So, and when I said the name of my book would be Surprise, I mean, I said it for a reason. Like, every day I wake up, I never know what phone call I'm going to receive for a new
Wow.
project or a
That's
new,
awesome.
so I don't know. I wake up excited every day, and I don't even know why. I don't even know why I'm excited, but I just wake up kind of excited about what the day will bring.
I love
And
it.
who knows what phone call I will get, for the end of the year. But I am currently working on some really, really cool projects.
Awesome. Awesome.
And I'm also looking forward to I'm opening my own event space next year.
That's
With Yeah,
awesome.
my sister and I are partnering on this, and it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be amazing.
In
So
DC?
in this area, yes.
Up in the DC metro area. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Love that. Love that. Love that. And where can folks find you to learn more about you?
You can find me on Instagram at Kristi Love Style, and that's Kristi spelled with a K and an I, not CH, not IE, not Y.
Yes.
KRISTILOVE style.
Yes. And it is scrolling at the bottom for anyone that didn't catch it. So they can see at Kristi Love Style.
All right,
Check out her
so
Yeah. Make sure you check out her Instagram. I love it. I go there sometimes just to get a little inspiration. So I'm like, what's she wearing today? I was like,
you.
I wear pearls with a sweatshirt. Yes. for me. So yeah, definitely check out Kristi. Be on the lookout for all of the surprises that are coming down the pike. You might even see her at Howard Homecoming.
You will see me. And actually,
Okay.
Good news yesterday, I designed 3 installations that will be on the yard, 3 visual.
Nice.
So if you want to come to the yard to take a beautiful photo that commemorates the 100th anniversary of Howard Homecoming, go to one of my installations that I've designed. They will be there.
I love it. I love it. Make sure you do it and tag her in the picture.
Please.
Well, yeah.
I love being tagged. Yes.
And you do share other people's, when people wear your items, wear your clothing items, when they see that, you always tag people. So I love that.
It's like my wall of fame.
You are very famous.
Thank
you are already a success. And we're going to have many more overnights, many more successes.
Absolutely. My mother
Go ahead.
86. My mom is 86. She's still my business partner, and she's still fabulous and doing it and achieving. She is my example. And my father, they're both 86, of how it's never over. And so yeah.
Well, shout out to your mom too. Another beautiful, fashionable, iconic person. Make sure y'all again go to her Instagram. Her mom is on there in some beautiful clothes. Loves a poncho, baby.
You'll see my little mama on there from time to time.
Yes. Well, this has been a fantastically amazing time for me, and I'm sure for everyone that is watching. Thank you so much for giving up your time. With all the stuff that's on your plate, I know that I do not take for granted that you offered me some of your time to come and talk to the Trap Chat audience. And make sure you come back. We're going to have 2 more episodes for October, Harvest of Joy, celebrating personal and professional achievements and milestones right here on Trap Chat. See everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.